Good weekend, everyone. I hope you're all having an incredible weekend so far. John Henry here, SSFTG. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome, my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. Welcome to the Weekend Upland Report, where we take a bit of time to discuss what's going on in the Upland metaverse from more of an analytical perspective. How is the UPX economy doing? How is each market sector doing and each neighborhood performing, the spark values and all that fun stuff? What's the best deal? What's the worst? And how is the arbitrage between all of them? A lot of these types of things people just kind of overlook, and they can be a huge difference between success and failure. If you want to join all of us in the Upland metaverse, head on over to discover.upland.me/SSFTG or click the promo link in the description, and that'll get you started in the game with 6,000 starting UPX, and that way you can kickstart your adventures. Plus, by using the promo link, if you decide to invest any cash into the game, you also get a monster 50% bonus to your first UPX purchase with a cap of 50,000 UPX. That's pretty awesome. You don't want to miss those kinds of perks. Now, before we jump on in, of course, we have to get in our normal promo for the Woodhood merch store. Don't forget to swing over to ssftg.live/merch and check out all of the wicked awesome gear that we've got here for all of you adults, kids, dogs, cups, mugs, and everything else. We've got it all. And remember, 50% of all of the profit from here gets donated towards our chosen autism charity of the month. And for the month of August, since we have just rolled over into a new month, our new focus is going to be on the Autism Science Foundation. If you need more info, make sure to swing over to autismsciencefoundation.org and check out all of the awesome stuff that's going on over there. So kicking things off on the news calendar side of things, August 2nd had the Thrifty Trader Challenge for Rio. So as far as Rio is concerned, they had the Thrifty Trader Challenge dropped. That's a really hard one to get out in one sentence. But you can check all of the leaderboards and everything right there on the main page. You can type your name in. I've not really been doing a whole lot in here, but I know a lot of folks in the Woodhood have been absolutely killing it. And some of them are even in the top 20. So doing absolutely amazing. Great work, all of you out there. This is something where you can earn a really cool block explorer, especially if Rio is a big thing for you. Definitely something that normally I love participating in, but Rio's just been one that I haven't been able to sink my teeth into very well with a bunch of other stuff going on. So hopefully you guys who are participating in this do incredibly well. It seems like there are a lot of names that I know on the list, and I hope to see a lot of these block explorers roaming around. August 2nd, we also had the announcement of the August Standard Challenges, and then shortly before they were supposed to start, we had the announcement that they were going to be postponed until further notice. So these are not going on right now. I was kind of excited about these because this is the first one that I know of, at least, or maybe it was the one before this too, that they're also rewarding Spark. But now it's postponed. So I don't know what's going on. This might have something to do with the FSA property launches and stuff that we'll be talking about in a minute with Rio. But this has all been postponed. So to be determined is all I know about this one. Until we get more info, I guess we'll just have to wait. On August 3rd, of course, this is a big one, and we've had both sides of the fence lit up on the Upland debate side of things too. Regardless of what side you are going to be voting on, yes or no, on August 3rd, they announced the Upland Economy Update, and I'll post the link for that in the top right corner for you too. I did a video on my take and my perception of this. There's a lot of good arguments on both sides of the fence. Make sure to go through and understand everything that is involved in there because there's a lot of info, and it can take some time to read through. It's a lot of good info, so again, make sure to watch the video. There's a lot of good content from a bunch of other creators as well, so get your feelers out there and really understand what it's all about. On August 4th, we had the release of Mayor. I'm going to mess these names up. I know. We'll just go along with it. I've had my fair share of comments about my ePanama one as well. It's forever ePanama, and I don't care. You can't change my mind. Rio's next FSA neighborhood launch is Mayor over in Rio de Janeiro. And if you look at this locationally, it's right over here. First, we had the CDD launch, which I might be covering, there we go, which was the first FSA area, and now we have the next one up here. So this one's kind of interesting because it's right butted up against the Olympic Stadium, and location-wise, sure, we know all the collections already, and this isn't a collection, but locationally, this could be a very interesting play. Now, these FSA-only areas are places where somebody like myself, I can't go in and mint there. I wasn't in Rio to begin with, but even if I was, I couldn't mint them. They're FSA properties, and my net worth in the game is above a level that I can mint those at. So this is something that I and a lot of other people can't participate in. The only way that we can participate in this area is through the secondary market, which I did. I did flip, I think actually one. I was going to say a couple, but I flipped one property that I was fast enough to get my hands on for for like 10,000, flipped for like 16,500, something like that. Quick little ROI. But that's really what these areas are good for, because people like me can't do these zones. I can't mint them. So the only way that I'm going to be able to play around with them is in secondary market. So there's a really, really good secondary market on these launches of these zones. And for new people who are minting, who are looking for an incredible way to start out, I mean, most of these properties, if you look at the announcement here, most of these properties pricings were at 2,500 UPIX. On the secondary market, most of these properties were selling from 17,000 to 20,000. I sold mine for 16,500 to flip it quick. I bought one on secondary for 10. Quick flips like that. But I mean, put this into perspective. A new player comes in, and there were some new FSA rules, which we'll get into in a second, but you mint your initial FSA properties, and you sell those FSA properties for, what, 10x? Like, I mean, these are ridiculous markups on the secondary market. It's incredible. What a way for new players to start. Now, like I said, there were some new FSA rules along with this that they're going to be testing out. First off, the FSA properties have been a really, really big hot topic, and we've talked about this a lot. A lot of places have talked about FSA because of multi-accounting and how problematic that can be. So with all of that, and so, you know, again, they even reference it right here, multi-accounting, to try another approach to get rid of that sort of thing, players will only be able to mint a total of 30 FSA properties over the lifetime of their account. Their whole account, you can only mint 30. Players can mint a maximum of 3 FSA properties per day. So some of these different modifications are going to make it so that you can't have FSA farming or bot farming, where new accounts all of a sudden show up and start minting out all these FSA properties, and all those FSA properties just magically migrate to another account. They're trying to prevent that kind of stuff. Now, if we look at the actual analytics, because it is next, but it's also kind of in combination with what's going on in Rio. Rio, in this latest mayor launch of FSA properties, dropped another 5,000 or so properties. So keep that in mind when we take a look at the overall minted properties, because, well, there's a few things of interest here. Looking at this week, right? This week we're coming in at 2.3 billion on the UPIX side of things, and we can see that there is quite a pullback, right? We're getting a nice little dip back down, and this is kind of to be expected. Now people are thinking, well, wait a minute. Rio was another partial launch, and then everybody was wondering, like, okay, well, another partial launch like Vegas. How often are we going to get new properties? Well, we've already gotten new Rio properties, 1,000 or 5,000 of them, in fact. And those are all gone, right? They all sold out. So if we look at the actual property counts, regardless of what the actual transactional volume is, last week we had 485,087 properties available to mint. This week, after having 5,000 more properties added, and remember last week was after all of Rio was added, this week not only do we have Rio, we have another 5,000 additional FSA properties that have been added, and we're still at 475,987. That's almost 10,000 lower, or 1.8759%. So not only did Rio basically not happen, we dropped about 1% after Rio. Now we've had an expansion of Rio for FSA properties. That is gone, and we've gone down another 1.87%. I mean, holy cow, this is incredibly bullish. We're seeing some very, very strong signs, not just in Rio, but generally speaking, when you have that kind of action going on, that's a really good sign of strength. And then on over into the fun bits, looking at the neighborhood by neighborhood, city by city, seeing how everything is doing. First off, going down the alphabetical order with Bakersfield, $5.50 last week to $5 this week, down 9.09%. The UPIX floor, however, staying relatively stable, $79.95 to $79.96. It's up one UPIX? UPIX. I don't know what the singular of that would be, but it's up one of them. The arbitrage between that, almost at that 3,000, 2,996. On the collection side of things, the USD floor is seeing a little bit of wibble wobble. Most of it's down, but we do have West Bakersfield up 11.11%. On the UPIX floor, up 18% in the same collection, West Bakersfield, and down 12% in Chester Ave. That's really about it. Kind of calm and quiet over in Bakersfield. Swinging onto the East Coast here, we've got Bronx next up. Last week, $8.49 to $8.15. That's down 4%. On the UPIX side of things, $11,700 to $12,745. That's up 8.9% with a really good arbitrage, $4,591. Really, really nice looking there. Pretty good. The UPIX floor across the board, there are a few of them that got dinged. Actually, one that really got hit hard. That's Riverdale, and the rare collection down 22%. Everything else is down 2%, 4%, like 0.14%. Everything else beyond that is up. So the UPX floor is doing pretty good. On the USD floor, we've got a lot of back and forth, up 10, down 7, down 8, up 5, but a notable one, down 25% in Grand Concourse and up 71% in Concourse. So you got a little bit of a flip-flop there, but otherwise, I mean, honestly, Bronx is looking pretty strong here, and it keeps getting stronger. Brooklyn next up, however, is not doing so well. That one kind of flip-flopped with the Bronx. The $5.25 floor to $5.20, not doing much, down 0.95%. But the 8,000 UPX down to 6,500 is down 18.75%. Now here's the thing, that 6,500 floor is likely just a momentary movement, and the rest of them are around the 7,600, 7,700 zone. So this dip is relatively partial because it's just a batch of properties that just got unloaded. They'll probably get sold off relatively quickly, and then we'll see that rebound right back up. So just a little caveat to that. By the time, even now, if I were to look at them after I've taken these, they're probably gone. That's a really good price, and they're probably right back up to the 7,500, 7,600 range. That said, the arbitrage at 6,500 is 1,300, and it's pretty terrible. If we tack on another 2,000 to that, obviously that will look significantly better. On the collection side of things, though, the USD floor has gotten 11% up over in 5th Ave and 25% up in Flatbush. Everything else is down. Not doing very good on that side of things. And on the UPX side of things, we've got a 28% increase in Flatbush Ave there as well, and 2.5% up in 5th. Everything else is down there too, pretty heavy. Not looking too good in the Brooklyn side of things. And then we get to jump on over to my favorite. You know what time it is. It's time for Chicago. We're back in, Chicago, honestly, it's one of those areas that has some pretty big fluctuations, but it usually rebounds pretty well. And it's pretty obvious why. It's a tier 1 hunting city. Tier 1 treasure hunting is a big deal, especially with all these treasure hunt things going on. We're going to see a lot of fluctuations in these higher tier zones, and that's likely, honestly, why Bronx, as a tier 2 treasure hunting zone, having so little properties when compared to the other tier 2s, is doing so well. It kind of makes sense from that perspective. We give it, especially given how much they're pushing on treasure hunting. That aside, looking at the dollar floor, $4.20 down to $4, that's down 4.76%, and the UPX floor, $6,500 down to $6,198, down 4.65%. The arbitrage, kind of mediocre, $2,198. That said, on the collection side of things, we've got a lot of movers here. The lower band, South Shore, Logan Square, those limited standard collections, those actually, just the standard collections, are doing pretty good. West Division is the only limited collection, otherwise everything else is down. 13% up in the rare Greek town, and there again, everything else is down. And some of those are down pretty nasty. 25% in Whacker, Chicago Riverwalk, 50% down. 36% down in Wright buildings. I mean, if you've been waiting for some good deals on these ultra rares, a 50% discount's pretty hard to beat, right? Now, the UPX side of things, that's a little more stable. Not so nuts, but we do still have some 15% movers, and of course, notably, the 50% lift in Hyde Park. Chicago, again, getting a lot of fluctuation here, and it wouldn't be a surprise to see this floor be a bit wild for the coming future. Then on over into the Cleveland side of things, the USD floor going from $4.99 to $4.88, down 2.2%. The UPX floor, $7,700 down to $7,500. The arbitrage between them still kind of mediocre. I like them over $3,000 if I can get them on the lower band, but $2,620 certainly can't complain. On the collection side of things, we've got some pretty good movers, not on the UPX side. Unless it's breweries. The breweries are doing great. Everything else could use to go to some breweries to make up for the damages that have been done. But on the USD side of things, we've got some good movement up. Glenville is up 33%, Tremont is up 39%, downtown is up 18%, doing pretty good there. There are some on the other end of that stick, though, down 17% in the exclusive Lorraine, and Cuyahoga Valley down 11%. We have a 25% decrease in the USD breweries. However, right, the UPX floor is up 213%. Man alive, if you're looking for some arbitrage, that's 3.9 million arbitrage between those two. Holy crap. Now, looking at some of the others, we have a 17% decrease in Ohio City, 10% decrease in Glenville and a few of the others, but really some of the big movers on the upper portion of the collections. Over in the Detroit side of things, the $3 forever unchanging floor that USD side is, that is unchanged and probably will be for the next 17 months. On the UPX side of things, $3,499 to $3,240. That's down 7.4%. The arbitrage is, of course, in Detroit, the tightest amongst all of Upland at 240 UPX. That's it, 240. So if you're ever looking for an arbitrage market, Detroit's where it's at. The collection side of things, though, well, I mean, some of them didn't do too bad. The rest of them did horribly. Most of them are down like 10 to 20%. We do have some shining lights in there. East English Village up 62%. Chicago Boulevard up 48%. Pretty much everything else is down or flat. On the UPX side of things, we've got some nice increases, 28% in Brightmoor. We've got 11% up in Rosedale Park. East English Village. 27% increase in Brush Park. That's really about it. Everything else is just kind of stable to slightly down in the USD floor. Still seeing some of that cashing out. However, those upper band collections are getting some of that USD. Fresno coming in with another unchanged floor at $5 to $5. $7,400 to $6,900 on the UPX side, though, down 6.76%. The arbitrage between that 1,900, not too bad, but now we're getting below 2,000 still. That's even worse. The collection side of things, though, wow, Tower District, holy moly, limited collection up 123%. Okay, cool. But where did that come from? The USD floor is screaming in the Fresno side of things. 37% up in Woodward Park, 26% up in the Van Ness's. There are a few pullbacks. Blackstone Ave down 22% and Olive Ave down 15%. However, the UPX floor, not looking good at all. Just all red. Not even green, just red and orange. There's nothing up, all flat and down across the board there. So on the UPX side of things, if people are looking for discounts, it seems like either the USD on the middle to upper band or the UPX anything in Fresno is looking pretty good. Kansas City next up on the docket, going from 587 to 589, up 0.34%. 8,000 UPX to 8,064, up 0.8%. Arbitrage just over 2,000 to 2,174. Not too bad, right? Now, the collection side of things, it's honestly not that bad. A few of them have some decent pullbacks, but most of them on the USD front are 12%. 10%. There is a 19% pullback in Grand Boulevard in the rare collection. That's not too happy. But then again, there's a 47% increase in Main Street and a 26% increase in Sunset Hill West. So, I mean, give and a take relationship, right? On the UPX side of things, we've got 22% decrease over in Foxtown East and a 29% decrease in Plaza Westport. But both of those combined, 42% up in Grand Boulevard. Seems like everything just kind of rolled over into that side. Las Vegas showing the complete opposite on the UPX floor there. Wow, very nice. Now, the USD floor, a bit of a pullback, going $5.29 to $5, down 5.48%. The UPX floor, $81.99 to $88.50, up 7.94%. And that also increases that disparity in the arbitrage almost over 4,000 now, 3,850. As far as the collections are concerned, the USD floor basically down. I mean, we do have the Arts District up 3.7, but everything else is flat to down. The UPX side of things, everything is up really nicely, too. I mean, the worst one is up 1.27% in the Arts District. The best one is 21%, 18%, 18%, 7%. Everything is looking really, really good over in the Las Vegas side of things, including arbitrage, looking great. At this point, I've basically given up trying to fit Los Angeles on the screen. My Block Explorer takes up 50% of the thing. But either way, the floor going from $4.90 to $5.25, up 7.14%. The UPX floor, though, oof, ouch, $7,600 to $64.20, down 15.53%. That really narrowed that arbitrage in, 1,170 with that big pullback there. Now, as far as the collections are concerned, we've got a whole lot of them in the Los Angeles area. But one thing to be noted, the ones that are down, there aren't very many of them, but if there are, they're down like nothing percent to 6-7%. The ones that are really expanding out, down maybe 17. Then we look at the up, right? The upside of things doing really, really good on the USD floor. Some of them 20, 25%, 40% in the Gregorius Angelino, 38% in East Hollywood. It's doing really good. The UPX floor is taking a little bit of a hit, but that kind of makes sense because we're seeing a lot of that USD transition into UPX now, and people are fire sailing in Los Angeles. It's got a huge amount of 647,000 properties in LA. Come on, right? So this is going to be the most logical place where people are going to dump their USD to UPX, and we saw the arbitrage value definitely getting tight. Manhattan next up, going from $62 to $65. That's up 4.84%. The UPX floor, $99,900 down to $99,599. Down 0.3, geez, oh Pete, there's too many numbers in here, 0.3%. The arbitrage between all of them, $34,599. Definitely Manhattan, always the best as far as arbitrage is concerned. That said, the collections on the USD floor not looking good. Most of them are down more than 10%, 14%, some as high as 38, 36%. USD floor is getting hit pretty hard in the Manhattan side. Most people probably cashing out. And we can definitely see that because when you go over to the UPX floor, it's relatively stable. We do have a 38% pullback, however, in 57th Street, but that's about it. Everything else relatively stable to slightly up on the UPX floor, USD side getting tanked, cashing out. Nashville giving us a USD floor from $4.95 to $5, increasing 1.01%. On the UPX floor, though, 77.77. Down to $72.99. That's down 6.15%. The arbitrage value between them, $2,299, so definitely not bad there. On the collection side of things, the USD floor, again, is another one that's all over the place. We've got Fatherland that's up 257%. Just a little bit of a mover there. Some of the other ones as much down as 46% and 12th Ave South. A lot of movement on the USD side of things. On the UPX floor, we do have some decent fluctuations as well, but not nearly as bad until we get down to live music venues. That one's down 28%. So there are definitely some nice discounts out there, but for now, the UPX floor a little more stable. The USD floor, I tell you what, man, the Fatherland's doing great. New Orleans getting a little bit of a hit here, going from $5.99 down to $5. That's down 16.53%. On the UPX floor, $89.90 to $89.90, that is unchanged, with the arbitrage really, really solid. It's only 10 UPX away, $3,990. Almost made it over 4,000. The collection side of things, USD floor, relatively, there's a lot of back and forth. I mean, we've got some that are down 14%, 10%. Then again, we've got the rare Hain Boulevard is up 42%, 21% up in Central Business District. The ones that are up are doing way better than the ones that are down. So I guess count the blessings, right? On the UPX side of things, though, not as good. There's only one that's actually up, and that's Central Business District. Everything else is flat to down on the UPX floor. Oakland next up, going from $5.50 to $5.50, unchanged there, but the UPX floor doing great, $8,444 up to $9,888. That's up 17.1%, looking great there. Now, and we can actually stretch that over into the arbitrage because that's over 4,000, 4,388. Incredible. Now, on the collection side of things, the majority of it is down, and it's not looking very good, especially in the rare and ultra rares. Lots of cashing out going on that side of things. It looks like they're flipping it over into the UPX side of things, though, because those lower end collections are actually doing pretty good on the UPX floor. The lower collections, the exclusives, limiteds, even some of the standards, those are the ones that are getting hit on the UPX floor, but decent amount of movement back and forth either way. Jumping on over to Queens, 372 to 369, that's down 0.81% rather. Geez, not 8.1, 0.81%. The UPX floor, 5,500 down to 4,750, that's down 13.64%. And the arbitrage, just barely staying over 1,000, it's at 1,060. On the USD floor for collections, 32% up in Forest Hills and 15% up in Queens Boulevard, but that's really about it. Otherwise, everything else kind of having some trouble or flat. The ones that are down usually over 10%. It's getting beat up pretty bad there. Flipping over to the UPX side of things, majority up for the most part, up to flat. The ones that are down are not down too badly, although some of them, including the floor, down 13% doesn't necessarily feel good. Some of these standard and limited collections being up 5 and 9% definitely kind of helps. Then we get to jump out of the US completely and do our first one in Rio de Janeiro. Super exciting with all of these different collections and everything else. Some of these collections are not in the game yet. We don't have them released to be able to mint, so they're just blank spaces. That said, the floor going from $7.90 to $6.50, that's down 17.72%. The UPX floor going from $11,500 to $7,999, that's down 30.44%. Remember, these numbers are from the launch to now. So we're talking huge price fluctuations inside of here. It's going to take a couple weeks for this to balance out, but we're starting to find that balance a little bit more here. If they keep releasing new things, it might shake it up. But for now, the arbitrage is sitting at $1,499. On the collection side of things, we've got some decent movement. The majority of them are up. The only one that's actually down is Copacabana, going from $24.90 to $22.99. Everything else is looking really, really good on the lower band. The rares and ultra rares could use a little bit of help on the USD floor, but I think a lot of people utilize collections and sell out in USD in these new zones. It's a really good way to profit out without having to give up much on the markup. On the UPX floor, a little bit of a different scenario, still looking really, really good with some ranging as high as 30 and 40%, but the ones that are down 30%, 17%, 40% in Samba schools. We've got a lot of volatility on both sides of this. Rutherford next up on the list, relatively stable here, going from $40 to $38.99, down 2.53%, but the UPX floor up $63.99, there's supposed to be an extra 9 in there, up to $68.999, that's up 7.81% and looking really good there. Arbitrage is over 30,000 again, 30,009, so we made it over, right? Objective complete. As far as the collections within there, they're not really a whole lot of movement. It's a decrease of 5% in Park Ave, otherwise it's not really a whole lot going on. Jumping over into the San Francisco side of things, the floor going from $16.50 to $18.97. That's up 14.97%, and actually that's the only USD thing that's up right now. The UPX floor, we've got the UPX floor is a little bit more of a mixed bag. That's going from $26,000 to $26,400, up 1.54%. The arbitrage between them, $7,430, pretty good there. And the collection side of things at least has some green on the UPX floor, although a little bit of back and forth there as well. Santa Clara next up on the list, with the floor going from $22 to $20.50, down 6.82%. However, the UPX floor, like Santa Clara always does, just keeps on going up, $33,000 to $36,900. One of the most consistent markets I think I've seen in forever is Santa Clara, but we know why. Great treasure hunting area, tier 2, really, really tiny, etc. As far as the collections are concerned, the USD floor down for the most part across the board, except for Homestead Road. On the UPX side of things, we already know that one's doing pretty well and very rarely ever dips, but if it does, usually the next week after it bounces right back up. The arbitrage between them, 16,400 and holding strong. And then finally over in Staten Island, $5.50 down to $4.88. That is down 11.27%. The UPX floor, $77.77. Up to $79.98, 2.84% increase there. The arbitrage over 3,000, 31.18. Really, really cool to see that. I love those nice arbitrage values in these lower, especially when they're in the lower band on the floor. That's awesome. Now, that aside, looking at some of the other ones here, the collection side and the USD, there are some pretty hefty pullbacks. We got a 33% decrease in Tompkinsville, 49% in Victory Boulevard, some pretty heavy dips. On the USD side, or the UPX side rather, the largest pullback that we have is 14% in Tompkinsville. And that's really about it. Everything else is up. In fact, we've got 9% up over in Tottenville. So it's not too bad. Decent amount of back and forth on the USD floor, though. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week in review in the Upland Metaverse. I hope you and yours are doing incredible over this weekend and you're having an incredible time getting those stacks nice and thick in the Rio side of things, especially with collections. Man, it's been a lot of fun, especially with these FSA releases and new little cities and stuff. So cool. Anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Rest up, and we will see you all in the Metaverse. Thanks. Bye.